like that. Why will you still go ahead to waste the resources of the federal government, the time of the federal government to contest election? Just because you want to be called an honorable. Are you honorable in that context? You're not. Because you know that you don't stand a chance of winning even one ward. And then you contest election at the end of the day. One polling unit. Yes, one polling unit. At the end of the day, you are scoring 3 votes as a governor. It's very embarrassing. And then you still go ahead and will queue up.
Is it not good to try?
They look at,
Is it not good to try?
It's not good to try. Because it's always better for you to look at someone with similar ideologies with you and support that person.
But what if the person that is having that 3 vote has a lot of ideas to push forward?
Well, if you have ideas, but you know that your ideas are not sold to the people properly. At least when I'm talking to you, I should know that I'm communicating. If I'm not communicating, I shouldn't be wasting my time talking to you. So when you know you are campaigning and the acceptability is not there, Nigerians have gone beyond where they can be afraid of those who are contesting the election. They tell you in the face, I am contesting. So when I go out, I know the kind of things they ask me. And most of these politicians will not want to tell the electorate how much they earn. And then when you look at the projects that they say they go home to do, nobody wants to go to a community and sit down and ask that in this community, I am going to now submit a list of contracts to ministries. What do you really need in your community here? They don't do this.
They don't.
So you just stay in Abuja and decide that, okay, motorcycles. You buy motorcycles, instead of going to do a borehole, you take motorcycles to go and give 10 people. And then you claim you bought them from your money, from your pocket. Then you, instead of giving them a clinic, you go home and say, okay, let me do a borehole, a hand pump borehole of 350,000 naira. And then instead of giving them water where they need water, you don't give. Instead of giving them a clinic where they need it, you don't give. You just sit and decide what you feel should be done. That is not the essence of representation. That is why I'm saying we don't have ideological politicians. Unless you have people who can go back to these societies and ask them, what do you want in this place? If it is a thing that you can bring an NGO to support them with such a kind of projects, why not go with the same NGO, sit down with the communities and ask? The contribution you are going to make is 10%. I am going to make the 10%. But select a project among 3. Which one do you want in this village? The youth should stay here, the women should be here, the elders should be here. You, the elders, these are 3 projects, right there, according to the way you want it done. So if you have these 3 groups coming together to agree that what we need is water, then give them water. If they say it's hospital, give them hospital. But the idea you stay somewhere and decide to, like 100,000 people that, okay, they need 10 motorcycles. For me, it's their robbery. It's not worth dying for to go and vote for people who cannot really come back and talk to you after winning elections. So as far as I'm concerned, we don't have people with principles, people with ideologies who really want to serve. It's people that just want to be noticed. As soon as you are voted, you can't take calls. You can't call them and they pick your call, even as big as you could be. You want to give an idea to them, they will tell you, no, I don't need this. So for me, unless we go back and the electorate are now going to choose those they feel they can be accessible to. If not, we continue this way, that there will be no democracy.
Are we helpless?
Before you take your next question, Mr. James, am I right?
Yeah.
Mr. James said something. He said he is contested. Now, from the things you wrote, that you can see that this is a man who has marshaled what he wants. But if he does not have money to go and give people the electorate, you'll be surprised that the same people that he has burned midnight candles trying to envision what to do for them, they will leave him and vote for a man without ideas who has money to buy salt and maggi for them. That's where the problem is coming from majorly. That's why money backs, as opposed to men and women of ideas always having their way. And that is the unfortunate part of our politics in this part of the world.
In all of this,
yes.
In all of this, are we helpless? 19, 20 years down the line of our democratic life, no politicians with ideologies to bring dividends of democracy down to the downtrodden, down to the grassroots. In all of this, are we helpless, or there are better days ahead?
Well, we're not helpless, right? The system is evolving.
20 years after?
Oh, sure. The system is evolving. It would be wrong for us to compare democracy in Nigeria with democracy in America. The system in America has lasted for over 200 years.
Yes, but
right?
I also believe that in 20 years, you should be able to have a pointer to the fact that we are making progress.
No, now let me make a point.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of people who emerged as governors in 1999, the quality of a lot of people who emerged as governors in 1999, particularly from certain states in the north, and you look at those who are governors today, you see that there is a remarkable difference, there's a remarkable improvement. Do you understand? If you also look at the quality of people who represented certain federal constituencies and senatorial districts as at 1999, right? And you compare that quality to the quality of today, there is an improvement, right? There are a lot of things that people did in 1999, the electorate, that they no longer do today, right? There are people now that you just cannot go and give them motorcycles and you say you are empowering them. They will tell you that, look, instead of giving me a motorcycle, which will be a personal benefit to me, construct a borehole in my community. So if you put all of that together, you see that we are moving forward, right? We are moving forward from, we are moving away, gradually we are moving away from, permit me to say, wheelbarrow empowerment, which my friend's governor did a couple of months ago.
Manu, he denied.
Okay, very quickly, Max. I know for the want of time, we are almost on top of the hour. Can you tell us what are the legal implications of these defections that have happened? Don't forget that we also had the same scenario in 2015 during the eve of that particular
Yes, section 68, subsection 1, paragraph G of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, prohibits movement from one political party to the other unless where there's a division in that political party. But that law is only as good as we have it on paper. Everything now depends on the discretion of the presiding officer. Right? In Akwa Ibom State, shortly after the 2015 general elections, before handing over, a member of the State House of Assembly defected from PDP to the APC. His seat was declared vacant. He remained outside until the lifespan of that assembly came to an end. The same thing happened in Cross River. A member of the Cross River State House of Assembly sometime last year defected to the APC. His seat was declared vacant. Then you now come to the National Assembly. There have been a lot of movements in the National Assembly from 1999. No presiding officer has declared any seat vacant. And of course, you cannot even compel them to declare such seats vacant. Professor Boroface, a senator of Ondo State extraction, defected from Labour Party to APC. The Senate president was PDP, David Mark. David Mark never declared his seat vacant, right? Joshua Darie was elected in this 8th Senate, was elected under the Labour Party, right? He defected to the APC. The Senate President Bukola Saraki did not declare his seat vacant, so he remained there, right? You go to the House of Reps, the same thing, a lot of people. You go to the same Senate, Hobu Zodima left PDP for APC. Senator John Owaneno, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, left PDP for APC. A certain senator in Akwa Ibom left PDP for APC. The Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, did not declare their seats vacant, right? So we cannot expect magic now that people have left or people are leaving the APC, right? You know, it will not be justice, it will not be fairness to all, it will not be fair to all, I'm sorry to say, if you now declare the seats of those who left APC right now vacant. Like the Speaker said in his ruling yesterday, the House Leader Femi Gbadabiamila raised this issue before the House yesterday, and the Speaker said the same ruling have been given, that the issue of division is a matter of fact, that the same ruling have always been given on issues like this is the same ruling I will give today. You know, so a law only becomes active when it is enforced. So long as we are concerned in Nigeria, except Cross River and Akwa Ibom, to the best of my knowledge, we have not actually enforced Section 68, subsection 1, paragraph G of the Constitution, which says you must vacate your seat if you leave the platform under which you were elected as a lawmaker, not as a governor now or as a president, as a lawmaker.
Yeah, James, let me take you up on this because of our time. What danger do you think this portends for our political space?
Well, it doesn't portend any danger anyway. I think it's one of the beauties of democracy.
Laying down the Constitution.
Yes, as far as we are concerned, because if you say you will adopt that constitution, we'll still go back to issue of ideology. These people cross-carpeting are those that doesn't have plans. All the ones who win elections.
And don't you think that it's wise for the presiding officer to declare their seat vacant?
Well, it is right for him to do that. But,
you are moving into his party?
but he is the presiding officer,
that's
and
the
you are joining him to increase his numbers and then make him stronger so that he can have immunity about impeachment. The only fear I feel we should be trying to prevent now is the issue of governors graduating from governor to National Assembly. That is one fear. Because when you have a National Assembly that is made of ex-governors who are so rich and so strong, the president may become so ineffective to control them in National Assembly. So that's the only way I feel we should be trying to make sure that these things doesn't happen by legal representation. I think those of them who are lawyers should be able to come up with an issue where this is what should be retired after that. If it is ideology, you will discover that as a governor you are higher than a senator. You are controlling the whole state. And then you don't descend so low to go back and control 6 or 7 local governments as a senator. So, and then you start going back home again to disturb the sitting governor. So it will get to a point that National Assembly all will be governors. Because he raised the issue of not too young to contest, and he asked you a joking question. I hope not too young to sponsor election. So, because in here you just have to sponsor yourself or someone supports you. But in supporting you, I don't know what it takes because nobody has come to sponsor me except my friends. When I'm going, they raise some money for me, take fuel, take this one, take this one. So it is becoming difficult that if you say not too young to run. That would have been a very good place where you can now start nurturing younger men to grow up and take responsibilities in offices. But because money is involved, they're not too old to retire. May not want to go and give the not too young to run. So I feel we must take a look at this. Not too old to retire and not too young to run.
And not too young to fund election.
Well, I don't know what else to say. I think at this point I should be calling the show a wrap. Thank you very much, Van der Fan, for giving us that comic relief, to use and end the show. Max Oga, thank you very much for finding that.
Thanks for having me.
I hope that
thanks also for the privilege of letting me meet an
brother.
Personality like this.
Thank you so much.
And my brother.
Yeah.
They call us Udam. We call them Munchi.
Wow.
Yes,
Munchi in Hausa means we have eaten.
No, Fulani.
Yeah. Okay, Fulani. All right. This is how much time will permit us on the show today. I hope we've been able to bring you up to speed on some of the implications of what happened in the National Assembly. Politics should be more of ideology rather than personal interest. Until we hit your screen again, same time next week, God willing. Stay out of trouble. And thanks for watching tonight's episode. I am Paris Samuel. Bye for now.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of the Darling Program Banking and You. I'm your regular host, Jerry Ojono.
One of the reasons for the crowd in the banking hall have to do with the bulk of people who use the ATM. One of the banks happened to be one of our very old banks. Okay, they were doing that. They've been doing that for quite a while. The level of education usually cannot be compared to education for those with current accounts. Yeah. Okay, so when you have the situation.
Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of the Darling Program Banking and You. I'm your regular host, Jerry Ojono. With me today
usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly.
The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
You know, that's also the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because we have some states that have experienced, you know, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the RC.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you can go ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
I be Agbero. That made me like this Agbero.
He don't need PVC. He don't need PVC. I was trying to convince him.
News emerged that Jones Abiri, a Bielsa-based journalist, is out on bail.
And there's nothing, of course, that makes them to have this guy.
As a citizen, first of all, every citizen has the right. What is happening in society, what is happening everywhere around him.
From that day, Saraki knew that he was a madman in the APC.
He should ask these people who leaked the information. That is his business.
This is not the first time JSS was taking over the National Assembly.
It may be extremely very difficult to remove a Senate president.
But the question is the viability of most of these 91 political parties.
Of course, you can't prosecute without investigation.
It will be easier for you to have those people with the like minds to join you.
Sunana Yakubu, amma an fi sani na da Yaks. Abu mafi mahimmanci shine har yanzu muna zaune da kwayar cutar polio a kasar mu. Wasu sun san digon rigakafin polio, wato digo biyu da ake bada na baki. Wasu kuma ba su san da haka ba. Wasu suna tunanin wannan digo guda biyu sau daya kawai ya wadatar. Shin digo biyu ya wadatar? Bari mu bincika. Yaya aiki?
Lafiya kalau.
Digon mai guda biyu kawai zai isa so ya kosai?
Ba zai isa ba.
To, ta ce ba zai isa ba. Ina zuwa. Na gode. Shin za ki amfani da digon nono guda biyu kawai ki dama fura?
A'a, ba zai yiwu ba gaskiya. Saboda nonon ne yake taimakawa wurin dama furan.
Na gode. Tambaya nake, shin digon ruwa biyu kawai zai isa hada shayi?
Ai ba zai yi wa hada ruwa da shayi da digon ruwa biyu ba. Dalili kuwa ai ba zai isa mutum ba. Dole sai ya kai kaman kofi daya.
Barka da.
Barka gare.
Da Allah tambaya nake so yi.
Allah ya sa na sani.
Shin digon man fetur guda biyu, digon man fetur guda biyu zai isa ya sa wannan mashin aiki?
A'a, ba zai sa shi aiki ba gaskiya.
Dalili fa?
Saboda ai bai wadace shi ba.
Haba.
Kwarai da gaske.
To nan ina zaka?
Dan je nan bayani.
Da Allah bari bi ka. Allah bai na wani.
Lafiya lau.
Kwayan gishiri biyu kadai. Shin zai isa ya sa naman nan daɗi?
A gaskiya ba zai isa ya sa naman nan daɗi ba. Sai an ɗan sa gishirin da yawa tukuna, sannan a haɗa, sannan ya garwaye naman har ya yi daɗi.
Na gode. Kamar yadda muka je, digo biyu kawai bai sa ya wadatar da wani abu mai ma'ana ba.
Hello and welcome to PTV Today. I am Lilian Ogazi. President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed that he will ensure a free and fair polls in 2019. Speaking during an interactive session with Nigerians living in China on Sunday, Buhari said he was not afraid of a free and fair elections because the same process brought him to power in 2015. He pledged that Nigerians who are eligible to vote would be allowed to freely elect candidates of their choice. Buhari, however, urged those interested in participating in the process to get their PVCs and register in their constituencies and elect anybody of their choice across religious and ethnic lines. The People's Democratic Party has assured party stakeholders that a screening panel will be constituted once it concludes the sales of nomination forms. The assurance was given by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Kola Ologbodiyan, in order to douse tension over the non-existence of a screening panel that would look at the credentials of those vying for various positions under the party ticket. Ologbodiyan, who spoke at the weekend, said the party has nothing to hide. He added that the party has promised to be transparent and is committed to abiding by this promise. According to a revised timetable released by the party recently, screening of presidential aspirants will hold on September 22nd, while the screening of governorship aspirants will be holding on September 11th. The screening of those vying for the National Assembly is scheduled for September 13th, while State Houses of Assembly aspirants are to be screened on September 7th. Former governor of Abia State and chieftain of the APC in the southeast, Orji Kalu, says Igbos are not afraid over the comments made by Bukola Saraki on 2023. Saraki had alleged that APC's chieftain Bola Tinubu was supporting the 2019 presidential bid of President Buhari because Tinubu is interested in becoming president come 2023. He said the statement by Saraki will not deter the resolution by Ndigbo to take the presidency of Nigeria after Buhari's 8-year rule. Kalu was confident that when the matter comes up at the right time, it will be resolved. The APC chieftain said he was being careful not to dabble into matters that concern Saraki and Tinubu because both politicians are close to him. The APC has accused the PDP of already conceding defeat following the party's adoption of direct primaries, particularly to elect its presidential candidate. The statement from the acting National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Ekini Nabena, questions the interest the opposition party has suddenly taken in the activities of the ruling party. Nabena lamented that the idea of direct primaries remains alien to the PDP, which is known for its inability to ensure internal party democracy and promote imposition against the will of party stakeholders. The statement stressed that the APC will continue to implement the change agenda which was promised to Nigerians and has called on Nigerians to continue to support President Buhari. The attempt by the People's Democratic Party to politicize the statement of President Buhari on irregular migration and trafficking in persons have been condemned by the APC. The president's statement was made during the visit of the Chairman Chancellor Angela Merkel. It accused the opposition party of being insensitive to a matter that affects the country, especially youth and families that have lost relatives as a result of inhumane treatment meted out to people who have attempted to enter Europe illegally. The APC commended President Buhari for showing commitment through support of international agreements to curb irregular migration into countries like Libya and Italy using the Mediterranean Sea. It also stressed that the administration is using initiatives like the N-Power, Bank of Industry, Youth Entrepreneurship Support and the SMEs to reduce poverty and high rates of unemployment. Away from that, now having concluded the voter registration exercise, the Independent National Electoral Commission says permanent voters' card could be collected until 1 week to the 2019 elections. Residents Electoral Commission in Kaduna State, Abdullahi Kugama, disclosed this at the end of the registration exercise in the state. Kugama said 52,507 have collected their PVCs, while 269,000 PVCs have not been collected. The 16-month-long continuous voters registration has ended with many prospective voters in the final push to be on the voters register. PTV's correspondent Paulum David, who visited several registration centers in the FCT, reports that that was the situation virtually everywhere. The report.
Hey, young man, go back. I don't ready to go back. Go back. Yes.
Last-minute rush at registration centers. This is the situation in most of the places we visited. From Gwarimpa to the vicinity of the presidential villa, FCT residents were in no mood to miss out. We witnessed a rowdy scene at the Gwarimpa Center that attracted soldiers' attention.
The system is so slow, they are not fast. At the end of the day, you see maybe they will attend to 100 number or sometimes not even 100. Then they say they will close. So I could plead that if government could still give chance, they should still at least ask, even if it is 1 month, so that people can have the opportunity to still register, because the process is so slow. They say we should get our PVC. Yes, we are ready to get our PVC, but how is the official working? See this crowd, it's just 3 people working. Then how do they expect them to cover much number? So I plead that the left federal government or the INEC in question should still extend this registration so that people can have it. The election is through voter registration. If you don't have the voter registration, then how do you exercise your franchise? So they should give us time again so that we can register.
When I came day before yesterday and yesterday, someone told me to buy form that there's place for VIPs. And I told my friend I won't buy any form, I will get form. And believe me, yesterday I wrote my names, I got form. And I registered mine, and I'm done. But we still want more people to be registered, so we want them to extend the date, and to tell those people to stop selling forms is bad.
Since morning I've been here. I came here 6 o'clock. I came here. Yesterday I was here. I couldn't get my voters registration. I couldn't get my PVC. I left what I was supposed to do at home. Even my hair was started. Time that I will use for better things. I left my job. I came here up to no avail. I didn't get what the voters card. I didn't get it, and which is very wrong. I want the government to extend this registration, this PVC collection to. They should extend it in order for everybody to get their cards, to exercise their rights and their vote.
This registration has been very hectic. I don't know why it's so difficult. Yesterday we came in here and stood under the rain, yet we have not achieved anything. This continuous voters registration is not supposed to be difficult. We even have them carry the computers. Right now, they are showing us injustice. Some people just came in here with their ID cards and they were given their voters card and they were registered. I don't know why our own case is different. This is cheating.
Saboda wannan tsari me ake wannan tsari a wannan rayuwa a duniya da Allah. Wannan cuta ce ake nuna mana da san kai da wasu abubuwan da bamu gane musu nufin su ba.
And as for complaints, it was no different from what we were told when the exercise began.
Compared to what I took part, like 2011 at Borno State, Miringa, precisely under Biu local government area, I was an ad hoc staff. I remember we did all the registration to the point that everybody, because the center became empty, so we assumed we've gotten everyone who is eligible to vote during that period. But looking at today as the closing dates and the crowd here, I don't even think in the next 5 days you take over, as in you finish up with this crowd. So I think the government really needs to extend it, because then, like I said, 2011 we did it to like 2 months before election. I think some months before, a month and before election. So everybody, and they still, it took them like just 2 weeks to like share out the permanent voters cards, and it was a successful one. So I think leaving it this way, then that means like 40% of Nigerians will not vote if they end it up today, as in 40% of Nigerians will not vote.
There were also comparisons with previous voter registration exercises.
Since morning, it's not even this morning, since yesterday, for how many days that we have been suffering. But we cannot even get this thing. We have been here. You leave your house in the morning to come here, and you cannot even get the form. And they are telling us that today is the last day. I don't think that. Please, government should do something about it. I don't think today these people can be, they can be true with this thing, because the queue now is too much. Even those that are having the form, they have not even finished with them. Look at the queue. Talk more of us that we did not even have the form. Please, they should do something about everything, transportation, and they are telling us that the voters card is very important. Please, they should do something about it.
And this is the situation within the range of the presidency. The people here admitted waiting till the last day, thinking that the crowd would have reduced.
It has been hectic. I was here yesterday about around 7 a.m. or so. We're here till around 3. The rain started, so we could not continue. I have to go back. So they asked us to come back today. I have to return back. So when I return back today, I discover it's like the population is increasing. So it's just like more people are yet to register, and the machines are not fast. And another problem again is the machines are not many. That is the computer responsible for the registration. Then another challenge again is some people will come behind and just shun. So that one is another contributing factor.
I don't know what is happening that for long people are keeping long queues are here, but I thank God I have got it now.
Okay, so why did you wait till this last day?
I'll be traveling, so I'm not around. So that's why I have chance today to do it. For long, I think they will expand it for a long time. But I said they are finishing today. That's why I lost to come and do it.
The closest registration unit around me is in Maraba, and just like I told you before, the process of registering there, you have to wake up very early in the morning because of the queue. You go around 4 a.m. and you write your name. You will not be able to register on time, and I have a lot of things to do. I'm a lawyer by profession, so I have to go about doing my own things. But today being the last day, I knew there's nothing I can do. I must have the voter's card so that me too I'll be able to vote.
PTV News learns that senior INEC officials had earlier in the day gone around some of the centers in the FCT with a view to seeing things for themselves. But the electoral body had made it clear that there is no chance of again extending the exercise that began in April 2017 because it needed time to print permanent voters' cards of new registrants. Paulum David, PTV News, Abuja.
Resident doctors in Lagos State University Teaching Hospital are gearing for a strike that will commence on September 5th should the state government fail to employ house officers. The strike is coming at the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum which expired on August 23rd. Acting President of the Association, Ibrahim Ogumbi, has lamented that the failure to employ house officers was affecting their work. Ogumbi said failure to implement their demands will lead to a total warning strike for 3 days, starting from the morning of the 5th of September, which will be followed by an immediate partial strike. Senate President Bukola Saraki has sent his condolences to Delta State government and the Catholic Church in Nigeria over the collapse of St. Paul's Catholic Church in Okwe local government area. A statement signed by the Special Advisor Media and Publicity Yusuf Olani Yunu, Saraki promised to continue to monitor the situation and ensure affected persons get the necessary medical attention. He called on all religious bodies to come together as one family to provide the needed succor to the affected families. Amnesty International says the ongoing trial of Boko Haram suspects is a good progress for the justice sector. This is contained in a letter addressed to the commendation, addressed to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. The letter from Amnesty International was signed by the country director, Osai Ojigo. Speaking on the letter, the AGF said it was a clear demonstration of the strategic role of the Justice Ministry and its commitment in adjudicating terrorism cases, implementing the Criminal Justice Act, and promoting the rule of law and human rights. Away from that now, some youths in the Federal Capital Territory are demanding concerted effort from the citizenry to check flooding. Speaking in a pre-event briefing ahead of the 2018 Abuja Climate Summit, they believe politicians cannot create goodwill on climate change if people fail to speak up. Emmanuel Bagudu has more.
This terrifying sight of flood has been a phenomenon in many countries of the world. And only recently, a number of states in northern Nigeria have been ravaged by rising flood waters. It has also rendered many persons homeless, with the authorities urging people at riverbanks to go to higher ground in many cases. Not even the Nigerian capital city, Abuja, is free from recent flooding, which many blame largely on climate change. But these youth from the Global Initiative for Food and Ecosystem Preservation think they have a solution to the natural disasters.
The science is clear. We have the momentum, the technology for energy transition, and we demand bold actions now. We are at a tipping point. What we have seen in the last 20 years of government leading climate negotiations, even with scientists pressing for urgency, hasn't been nearly enough. With climate impacts escalating, it's becoming at a time when we don't have the luxury of time to wait and see what all the bureaucratic negotiations have to offer. Gentlemen, climate change is the #1 problem the world is facing today. And we in Nigeria are not left out.
Nigeria's roadmap on transition to renewable energy. A panel of discussion on religion, climate change and conflict. Panel discussion on the roles, development partners and examples of key interventions.
September is when the United Nations suggests that groups engage in serious actions on the effects of climate change. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
The first Saturday of each month is marked as Environmental Sanitation Day in the Federal Capital Territory. But some residents of Apo Legislative Quarters see it as a way of enhancing their social life and chart better ways to secure their neighborhood. PTV's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Beautiful landscape and modern buildings complemented by well-planned road network. It also has dedicated inhabitants determined to sustain its serenity. This is Zone E of the Apo Legislative Quarters. These are the residents on a clean-up exercise in the neighborhood, which they say is an exercise that is worth doing considering its impact.
Today's exercise is tagged Neighborhood Community Service Cleanup. You know, part of the essence of our association is to ensure that, you know, we promote good neighborliness, you know, because it's said that the closest person to you at each point in time is your neighbor. So as such, we engage in activities that would help in development of our neighborhood, and by extension that will breed and a better and good society at the end of the day.
This respondent believes that the neighborhood has no excuse for not maintaining a high standard of cleanliness. His reason is as a result of the caliber of persons living in these houses.
Well, like the popular saying goes, they say cleanliness is next to godliness. So that's one of my major motivation to participate in anything that has to do with my neighborhood cleanliness. I like it. And coming here today, you know, I've not done this type of physical exercise for a long time. So you can see I'm sweating, and it's a way of, it's like killing two birds with one stone. I'm cleaning the neighborhood and I'm also exercising my body, which is very, very good for me. And I encourage other neighbors to do that.
For now, residents in Zone E of the Apo Legislative Quarters complex have set a benchmark for inhabitants of other highbrow areas in the Nigeria's capital. Emmanuel Bagu, PTV News, Abuja.
Some environmental activists in Edo State are demanding public enlightenment and proper sensitization on proper disposal of waste materials in the state. They also argue that government must do more to institute laws that will help check offenders. This was a message conveyed by the representative of African Network on Environment and Economic Justice. PTV's Kingsley Eben has more in this report presented from our studios.
Cleanliness, in local parlance, is next to godliness. It is probably for this reason that environmentalists are demanding better enlightenment on waste disposal in local communities. They are also making a case for appropriate laws to put an end to illegal dump sites.
I think the problem is that there is a lack of political will on the part of our people and the government. Let me give an example. I told you a couple of minutes ago that when I stay, if I need to dispose of my waste, if it's a piece of paper, I know exactly where to go to dump that piece of paper. And so I'll take my piece of paper and walk to where there's a bin and dump the piece of paper there, because that's the place I need to dump the piece of paper.
Something that government have to do more in the area of if you say the root cause, if you see the government of refuse in every use and credits, as a result of ignorance, I can call it ignorance.
Government officials agreed to an extent with the activists. They, however, insist that people should learn to abide by existing environmental laws.
It's our attitude, because even in an environment where there is waste being, different type of waste being segregation mechanism, you find that our people still find it hard to dump waste in the appropriate way.
It's all got to do with displacement of value, societal value, core value. We don't have value for our environment. It's so unfortunate. It's all over the country. For those of us who have the opportunity to travel out of the country, you see, the value you place on every aspect of life determines how you respond.
Environment stakeholders agree that policymakers must either introduce or step up sensitization campaigns to achieve proper waste disposal.
The Kaduna State government have demolished shops at Malali bus stop in the metropolis. The bulldozer moved in soon after an eviction notice was issued to the shop owners in the affected areas. Some of the victims are now appealing to the state government to compensate them for their loss.
And I'm a shop owner in this same city that this destruction is taking place. So what I wanted the people to know and the government to know that this kind of thing is the renders people's jobless. There are shops that are here that are these are the elected, these are people that voted him into power. There's due consideration, nothing like compensation, nothing like cut anything, no procedures, they just came to every shop. Now people that are here are rendered jobless. That is the main cause of corruption.
We are in court, we're supposed to be in the court, our next year sitting will be 19 September. So we received devolution notice on the 1st. They give us 21 days ultimatum for us to pack our things. So unfortunately, because of the problem in Akoyeru, so they delayed the demolition. So we had the rumors yesterday around 5. So we asked some of our members to pack their things out. So, but unfortunately, some couldn't make it yet.
The Federal Road Safety Commission has vowed to implement traffic regulations in Kaduna with a view to reducing carnage in the last 4 of the month. Sector Commander Umar Ibrahim also wants road users to obey traffic regulations during the period. Amina Anedi has more in this report presented from our studios.
Motorists, even the commuters, not only the motorists, everybody, people should understand that there are rules and regulations of using this highway, because we term it as a killer. So there is regulation of using it, and it's only the one that uses the regulation very well that go free with it. Yes. If you refuse to use it very well, it gets away with you. So my call is that people should abide by the rules and regulations of this road, and only those that their hands are strong in driving should drive.
Crashes in Kaduna State, because remove speed, remove overloading, then we will not have issues on the road. If we will be able to remove the problems that are caused by speed, the problems that are caused by overloading, these two only, we were able to remove them, then we will have no issues on the highway. So our struggle to see that we eliminate speed is what we call what are we doing about speed limiting device. And the compliance level on that on buses flying interstate has reached up 20%.
A cross-section of female photographers in the Federal Capital Territory want more women to be engaged in the business. They, however, admitted that they had a hard time getting the recognition they deserve. The female photographers spoke at an event tagged "One-on-One with Leading Women in Photography." The report.
A woman with a camera kit. Until recently, this would have been described as an unusual sight in Nigeria. Back then, the assumption could be that such women are either tourists or just having fun. But these women say they are not just camera operators, they are photographers, commercial, professional photographers.
Can you take our pictures? I'm like, okay, not so bad. But obviously the camera was...
This is a one-on-one session with leading women in photography, and the organizers are keen on ensuring that the gender barrier in the business remain broken.
If you check very well, you discover that within the industry you see more of the males, and you hear their names everywhere. But for the ladies, you hardly see them, and we are really here to celebrate them. So with this, ladies out there will get to know that you can really go into this industry, make good money, and also do a lot of creative stuff with it.
It's now time to hear from the female photographers, one of whom works in the presidency.
I feel like people are always trying to capitalize on, oh, you being a man or you being a male-dominated industry has nothing to do with knowledge. Once you can acquire the knowledge and the skill, and you put it to good use, and you position yourself properly, then why not?
I was a photographer, still a photographer, before I met the second family, you know, but they just... I would say they just brought me to limelight. Like, okay, everyone now wants to know who is Adesua, what does she do, and everything. So they didn't inspire what I do. You know, I got inspiration before I met them, you know, but being with them has made it really better. And I've learned a lot because, you know, being at that level, of course, you have a lot to learn.
The only secret is to have passion for what you do, and which applies to any profession or anything that you're doing. It doesn't have to, I'm sure you have passion for what you're doing right now. That's why you're here. So it's the same thing. It's the same process.
One of these women is Busola, the wife of singer Timi Dakolo. She doesn't see any stress in working as a wife, mother, and a photographer.
What I would like to tell them is make sure there's something you're good at. And it doesn't matter how tight the situation might be. It doesn't matter whether you are a stay-at-home mom. There's no how you can manage taking care of kids and also finding your relevance one way or the other. And if you're single, it's really a good time for you to be very effective. Don't spend your time too much on the phone doing what will profit you nothing. Make sure you develop yourself, and that's why I actually started a platform called Skills Kitchen to help the younger people.
These two are the youngest. They are both graduates of law and information science and are less than 25 years. They explain why they chose photography and their competition with the male folk.
To be honest, all a person really needs is passion, determination, and drive. Yes, I come from a comfortable background, but like I said, I started with the money I saved up in school, and I had a lot of struggles and challenges getting the equipment. I still don't have certain equipments that I need. Photography is quite expensive, but if you have that motivation, if you have that determination, you're going to get to where you need to go. To that 250 I said I made, I invested everything into getting equipment. I mean, if it's something you really want to do, you don't worry about making money at the initial stages. You really have to invest your time, your money, and you just have to keep going.
First of all, I want to say that I studied law and I'm practicing law, and I'm still into photography. So basically what I want you to know is that there's nothing that is impossible for you to do, and you don't have to streamline yourself to just one thing. I think in the world of today, there's something like multiple streams of income. So I practice law, I go to work every day, but then I still try to balance
my time for photography as well. So basically, there's really nothing that is impossible for you to do. You just need to put your mind to it and have God, honestly.
Now that they feel the gender barrier is broken, they want more women as professional photographers. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
You're on to PTV today. We shall be going to a quick break. When we return, foreign and sport news will come your way. Do stay.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discuss on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are engaged.
Executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely.
From this interview, because you have
there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is
Now to the foreign scene. A fire has gutted the National Museum of Brazil in Rio de Janeiro, the oldest scientific institution in the country. Most of the 20 million items it contained, including the oldest human remains ever found in the Americas, are believed to have been destroyed. The cause of the blaze is not yet known. No injuries have been reported yet. The museum, located in a building that once served as a residence for the Portuguese royal family, celebrated its 200th anniversary this year. The fire started on Sunday evening after the facility had closed for the day. Aerial images broadcast on Brazilian television showed it spreading throughout the building. A court in Myanmar has sentenced two Reuters journalists to 7 years in prison for violating the State Secrets Act while investigating violence against the Rohingya minority. Walon and Kwaso O, nationals of Myanmar, were arrested while carrying official documents which had just been given to them by police officers. They have maintained their innocence, saying they were set up by the police. The case has been widely seen as a test of press freedom in Myanmar. The two men, who both have families with young children, have been in prison since their arrest in December 2017. Now, the U.S. military says it's cancelling $300 million in aid to Pakistan over what it calls Islamabad's failure to take actions against militant groups. President Donald Trump has previously accused Pakistan of deceiving the U.S. while receiving billions of dollars. Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Cone Faulkner said the U.S. military would aim to spend the money on other urgent priorities. The move, which needs to be approved by U.S. Congress, is part of a broader suspension announced in January. The U.S. Department has criticized Pakistan, a key ally, for failing to deal with terrorist networks operating on its soil, including the Haqqani networks and the Afghan Taliban. Pakistani officials have condemned the U.S. decision to end all funding to the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency. The U.S. has been the largest donor of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, but now says the organization is irredeemably flawed. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas' spokesman has called the move a flagrant assault against the Palestinian people. However, there are indications Israel supports the move. UNRWA says it currently supports more than 5 million Palestinians in Gaza, the West Bank, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, including providing health care, education, and social services. And that's it on the news this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi.
Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search PTV Nigeria, download, it's free, it's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV. People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV. People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Hello there and welcome to Kids in Africana. I'm your host Lilian Ogazi. Now today I have an amazing chef and a very short, interesting meal. This week again.
Yeah, this week again we have something super amazing.
Okay, last week was amazing and then this week it is super amazing. So what are we preparing this week that is super amazing?
What we have to make today is called Ikira Nyicho. Now, Icho is a name for water yam.
Okay.
Then Ikira is the Ikira made from Icho. So
what is Ikira first? This is Ikira made from Icho.
The name given to
sounds like Akara.
Yes, but I don't want to use the word akara because in my language we call it ikira.
So ikira nyicho.
Yes, that's to cakes made from water yam.
soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tracy O'Connor, and I'm from Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo, New York. Breast cancer is essentially a disorder of cell growth that can happen in either the ducts or the lobules of the breast. Essentially, cells in the breast begin to grow in an uncontrolled fashion, ultimately gaining the ability to spread throughout the body. It's important that women notice any changes in their breast because these cancers can be very readily treatable if they're picked up early. The major symptom of breast cancer is generally a painless lump in the breast, although some women do have pain when they notice a lump. There can also be changes in the skin, either puckering or dimpling, redness of the skin, and sometimes a nipple discharge. In this environment, often women will have deformity of the breast as the cancer progresses. Unfortunately, breast cancers can spread to other sites like the bone, liver, lung, and cause symptoms including pain. When a cancer spreads to other sites, when it's a very late stage cancer, what we call a stage 4 cancer, it's no longer able to be cured, although it can still be treated or tried to be managed. So it's just really important that women are diagnosed early with the first notice of a change in the breast, that they report that to their physician, because at that stage they are highly curable. All cancers are diseases of aging. So as we as human beings get better at managing other diseases that used to cause our mortality, our cancer incidence is increasing. In the US, it's been increasing pretty rapidly as human beings age. As we get older, we accumulate many more exposures to things that ultimately can cause cell changes and cause cancers to occur. The major cause of breast cancer, the major risk factor for breast cancer is aging. But there are other things that are important. A family history can increase a woman's risk of breast cancer. If she's overweight after menopause, that can increase her risk of breast cancer. Many of the changes that happen as women advance in society are associated with an increased breast cancer as we adopt a more Western style of life. Things like having fewer children, being younger at the time you get your first period, being older at the time that you go through menopause. So putting all of these together, a woman can help with her physician determine what her risk is. Ideally, women will begin having mammograms between the age of 40 and 45, and we generally recommend that they do this once a year. But another really good screening test, if mammography is not available or is not able to be afforded, is for a woman to check her breasts once a month and to report any changes promptly to her physician. In the United States, even in a high screening environment, 40% of breast cancers are diagnosed by women noticing a lump in their own breast. It is not contagious. So breast cancer cannot be transmitted from one person to another. Some cancers do have the ability to be started by a virus. We've been talking a lot on this trip about the human papillomavirus, or HPV. This is a virus that's associated with both head and neck cancer and cervical cancer. And the reason we've been talking about it is that it is preventable with a vaccine if individuals are vaccinated before they become sexually active. So that's a very important public health measure that could be advocated for in this country. So if we catch it early, women are cured and they can live out a normal lifespan. So in the United States, 90% approximately of women who present with a breast cancer can go on to live a normal lifespan. So that's why it's so important to catch it early. I usually would recommend that people start with their primary care physician. Until a woman is actually diagnosed with the cancer, she does not need to see an oncologist. So following up with her primary care physician or obstetrician gynecologist would probably be a good option. So it feels to me from talking to women in Nigeria, there's a great deal of fear and stigma surrounding a cancer diagnosis. And I would encourage women to take control of the situation, to recognize that breast cancer is highly curable if it's caught early and treated by the right professionals, to check their breasts regularly and really to pursue cancer screening with mammograms once a year so that they can be diagnosed early, be treated, and go on to live a long and fruitful life. I think that the knowledge in Nigeria is actually very good. There's a lot of breast cancer here, and physicians certainly know how to treat it. The major barriers are the fact that many women have difficulty affording care. Sometimes care is unavailable, such as radiotherapy or access to chemotherapy agents. And there's a great deal of delayed presentation. So rather than presenting with a very early, very curable breast cancer in Nigeria, many women delay seeking treatment, either because they can't afford it or they're frightened. And when you delay treatment, that's when your outcome is not as good. So it's not as if the physicians here lack any skills or knowledge. It's that the system is working against them while they're trying to take care of their patients. It seems like the general level of knowledge and awareness is quite low in Nigeria among the population. So I think education is really key to get the word out that there is screening available for cancer, that it is not a death sentence, that with proper treatment and early diagnosis, this is a curable problem for people, and to support cancer patients rather than stigmatize the disease. People who are diagnosed with cancer need compassion and support to get through their treatment. This is not a contagious problem. And these patients deserve our care and support. I try to be very encouraging with my patients. We often talk about ourselves in oncology as being big cheerleaders. We're really there to support them, help them get through treatment, work with them psychologically, to get the right mindset to get through therapy. But in general, the patients that I care for with cancer are a lovely group of women who deserve the very best care. And the women in this country deserve the same level of care that we're able to give in the States. I would like to see better infrastructure and better support, some sort of public insurance program for the people of Nigeria, especially in regards to cancer care. My name is Dr. Tracy O'Connor. I'm a breast cancer doctor from Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo, New York, and I'm here to encourage you to get your health information from People's Television.
People of Nigeria, I hear say they don't back Odin. From my side, it's good though as a banner, because even human being, you no go to the drink Odin. I beg, it's good, make a banner. We don't want them again.
A lot of Nigeria youth that have been taken into codeine have caused a lot of havoc to them, even to the society in general.
The recent ban of codeine is very amazing because that will help the Nigerian youths to face the reality and know what they're doing. Because of then, man, people are taking this codeine and they'll be very slow, they can't even help themselves out. But now that it's banned, I think they have no way to find any excuse. So they will come out, do the right thing at the right time and work for themselves.
I feel happy about the ban of codeine in Nigeria because it has caused so many harms to our youth out there. They over-abuse it. For those it may affect, they can go for other alternative of cough syrup. It's not only codeine that is in Nigeria that is cough syrup.
To some extent, it's okay. In the sense that the abuse is getting out of hand. You see people taking codeine as if they are drinking water, which is causing health hazards to most of us. That, I say, is not good. But think about it the other way around. I need codeine to cure me of one ailment or the other. And for me to go and get it now from the pharmacy becomes a problem because it's banned. So what do you do now? So before the government will come out to say this and that, I think it would be better for government to find out the root cause of why these guys or these little ones, not even guys this time, even women, even politicians, they do it, they take it. Find out why they are doing it, especially those guys outside. Then try to sort out that problem so that it will stop. If you say you ban it, the effect will be on almost everybody. But if you find out the root cause of why they are doing it, it will help us better.
I think the recent ban of codeine is one of the most positive things this government has done so far. And it's a very, very good thing because it will actually curtail drug abuse. Because if you look at Kano and Lagos State right now, they're among the highest abusers of drug, and Katsina State is a very good thing for the youth, and it will definitely grow the level of efficiency and self-sustenance in the country.
Is it not even better that we have a corrupt man who know what we, the youth of Nigeria, want? Trump, as you are saying, Trump is corrupt. Now he's the best president so far. Look at the economy of USA. When the government, you understand, is afraid of the citizen, there is liberty, love, development. But in a situation whereby the citizen is afraid of the government, that is that tyranny. Nigeria is this is tyranny, era of tyranny. You understand? And you cannot take it away. As far as we Nigerians are concerned, Abacha is one of the best presidents we have, and Obasanjo, you understand? And Obasanjo, all these people are corrupt. So is it not better we even have people who they said is corrupt that will come and solve our problem in this country than people who say that they are sent, that things are not moving? Our economy is shut down, many things is shut down, nothing is working. So what are we now saying?
What we are passing through in Nigeria is, in fact, is not what we expected. You understand? Even so the Nigerian that voted for, because personally myself, I never voted for Buhari for one day. My vote was not casted for him because I know him right from history. When we were in Lagos, then there was a massive unemployment. Then there was no job. People suffer to eat. Then that was why I didn't give him one vote. And I am telling you, this one, I am not giving him one single vote. My community is not giving him one single vote.
Forget about people who see themselves as if they are the ones to decide. He said he's not going to vote for Buhari. That is left for him. He cannot say his community will not vote for Buhari because he don't know even his brother, his immediate brother, will like Buhari more than he did. You understand? That is how you think. We must pass through a wilderness to get to the promised land. What PDP has been doing to this country is only God. If you give them that chance again, we will derail. We'll get back to where we have been into. Yeah? So we better suffer it now and our future restored.
This government came on the promise that they are going to make Nigeria better. And on discovering, they discovered that there are a lot of messes, which to clean up that messes, it will not take 1 or 2 years, or even 3 years, or one single term. That means 4 years in government. But I discovered that by giving the government more time, maybe about 8 years or more, we can now start crediting them that yes, they've done this, they've done that. But for the past 3 years of this government, apart from the insecurity that is caused by our own people here in the north central of the Middle Belt extraction, I discovered that yes, this man is really, and the party is really doing well for our people.
The Buhari government is one of the best government we've witnessed. One, Buhari have plan for our generation yet unborn. And Buhari is one we reserve our voters card for till 2023 before we decide who will enter the villas. Because some of us that bring Buhari there, we are still backing Buhari till 2023, and we are happy with his government. The people, the cabinet of Buhari government is people we want. They are intelligent, they are very intelligent, and they are doing what we want. They are protecting our interests, the interest of our generation yet unborn. And our church, we mobilize people, we urge people, we appeal to you to reserve the voters card and continue with Buhari. Thank you, Nigeria.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly.
The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
You know, the thoughts of the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because we have some states that have experienced, you know, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the embassy.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you can go ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
I'm the Agbero. That made me like this Agbero.
He don't need PVC. He don't need PVC. I was trying to convince him.
News emerged that Jones Abiri, a Bielsa-based journalist, is out on bail.
And there's nothing, of course, that makes them to have this guy.
As a citizen, first of all, every citizen has the right. What is happening in society, what is happening everywhere around him.
From that day, Saraki knew that he was a madman in the APC.
He should ask his people who leaked the information. That is his business.
This is not the first time JSS was taking over the National Assembly.
It may be extremely very difficult to remove a Senate president.
But the question is the viability of most of these 91 political parties.
Of course, you can't prosecute without investigation.
It will be easier for you to have those people with the like minds to join you.
It is a crowded race for the presidential ticket of the People's Democratic Party as the clock ticks towards the 2019 general elections. Now, already, the build-up to the party's primary in October has been characterized by power play and intrigue and power tussle as a result of the high-profile interest in the party's tickets, despite being the opposition. Now, this is going to the PDP presidential race is going to be our major discuss here on Inside Story this week. I am Lilian Ogazi, and many thanks for joining us. Now, for the PDP presidential race, we have the likes of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, we have Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, and we have Governors Aminu Tambuwa and Ibrahim Dankwambo, and we have Senate President Bukola Saraki, who only dropped hints of his interest in the race. Now, others are former Governors Sule Lamido, Ibrahim Shekaru, Atahiru Barafawa, Jonah Jang, and Ahmed Makarfi. Now, also showing interest in the race are former Special Duties Minister Tani Mutaraki, a former Senator Dati Baba Ahmed, and a Professor of Language and Communication Arts of the Rivers State University of Education, Olufumilayo Adesanya Davis. Well, joining me today on the program to talk about the PDP presidential race is Victor Abenson, editor/political correspondent at Radio Nigeria, and Alaba Yusuf of the Atiku Media Office. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's nice having you. You're welcome, Victorson. Okay, now, let me start off with you, Alaba. Now, let me get your idea. Moving on straight now. Over 10 presidential aspirants under the platform of the PDP. What comes to mind?
Beautiful. Because the beauty of democracy is people's participation. And, you know, we'll all be talking about dictatorship, this and that. The more, the merrier. But at the time, you know, you could see what happened yesterday or so, where all the presidential candidates came together to discuss, they have a parley. And at the end of the day, they're going to come up with what the late Keon Badiwe, Kingsley Badiwe, called Accord Concordia. You know, whereby people come together, you disagree to agree, you know, and you move forward. So you're going to get the best of ideas, you know. There's going to be a congress of ideas, whereby they now come with such a powerful team that will actualize the dream.
Okay, how about you, Victorson?
Yeah, beautiful reality that there are very many. You mentioned just about less than 10, but there are even
a whole lot more, yes.
A lot more than that. Many of them are not as known as the ones you mentioned. But if you go to the party secretariat, you see so many other posters for president, here and there. I think it's a plus, just like he said. However, what will have to either count for the party or count against the party in the days, in the weeks to come, or even in the months to come, will be how they manage themselves. These aspirants, how they manage themselves is very important because, yes, for instance, Atiku has said that he's going to stay in the PDP whether he gets the ticket or not. I heard Lamido say the same thing. Let it not just be saying it, let them actually commit themselves to the process that whoever comes out top at the end of the day, they will stay with the party and support the party. That's the only way that they will clinch. They can clinch the throne at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you. Now back to you, Alaba. Now, in your own thoughts now, who do you consider as the forerunners and the pretenders in the act?
Well, your language, contenders and pretenders.
Mm.
But this just we're in an era of political osmosis. You understand me? Movement of interest. You know, people are looking for where things get better. And don't forget that there are poster people, poster politicians. They page their posters, they use that to do some deals. You know, and don't forget that political party, by definition, means like-minded people coming together to wrestle for power. And when they attain that power, they share in administration.
Okay.
So if you don't show interest that you want to go for the highest office, so how can you become a minister? Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So if they say, well, we never saw you, So at the end of the day, it's about deals being sealed. It will be preposterous to say that someone is a contender, someone is a pretender. In politics, well, politicians are not supposed to be that exact because politics is not a science of exactitude. Anyway, as a theoretician, I will tell you that we know those who cut across.
Okay.
We know those, you mentioned their name in the east, in the west, south, northeast, northwest, and you say, even to those who don't watch television, just mention the name, they know who is who. So at the end of the day, but that does, enthusiasm alone does not give you the key. But the party, the PDP, even though I don't speak for the party on its own, you will know that, like what happened to the Labour Party in England. Labour Party was down until John Major became Prime Minister, and for Labour Party to win, people saw that, oh, Workers' Party, I can put my money, you know, all the capitalists, they didn't want to put their money in the Labour Party. So what happened is that they now form what we call New Labour Party, which a little to the left, a little to the right. And that's what is happening in PDP today. Now they're talking about direct and indirect, a fusion of direct and indirect election. So imposition is no longer going to be there. Okay. That people can now obtain forms from their local government level, ward level, zonal, state, and the rest. So when people have to contest to become delegates, then it shows that no single party, Godfather, you know, what the party was known for in the past, Godfatherism, it won't happen. And when there's a plain,
level playing field.
Yeah, a level playing field or ground, then the seed will be taken away from the shaft. Okay.
Do you agree with him? Do you consider the fact that they might be pretenders and they might be contenders in the race?
Yeah, in every race, there will always be people who have veiled motives. Yes, pretenders in the sense that they may not actually be reaching out for the presidency. They may want something else, just like he alluded. Like it's all strategy. For instance, there are some posters you see, some names you see. You just know that this person is not a serious contender. And also, there are those you also see, you know that, this person, so-and-so person, is a serious contender. But it all boils down to the fact that people want to be part of the process that leads to, that governs the entire political space, so that at the end of the day, they can share in the spoil of office when the party is victorious. So ultimately, I think the onus is on the party itself to be forthright, to be, how will I call it now, to be really transparent, not just a promise. He talked about the promise to, you know, he's a PR teacher, and they always say good things. Not just a promise, but a concrete commitment to that transparency. Because already, as we are talking, people are already pointing a direction, say, this is where, who will get the ticket. Just last week, it's still in the news, the Atiku campaign office had to come out to deny the fact that he was talking with Abga. What could have led to that? Yes, there are permutations that a certain candidate, or rather a certain aspirant, Tambuwa, the governor of Sokoto State, is being tipped to be the anointed one. The governors, don't forget the fact that the governors are very influential in the party. And if you talk about PDP today, you mention Wike, those who saw the party through that turbulent time of the incursion of the former governor of Borno State. So it has come, the victory they had has come with a kind of ownership or legitimacy. Now, many people in that group, in that era, are pointing at Tambuwa and that's making others like Atiku uncomfortable. That's our own reading. It may be wrong. He has come out, his office has come out to deny the fact or to deny the claim that they are in talks with other groups. But how these things will play out in the days, in the weeks and months to come, we will all know where the truth lies.
Okay, well, you seem to have something.
I enjoy my friend talking about facts that has not been tested. And anything that's not been empirically tested, it cannot be a fact. Anyway, he quickly said it was just part of the soundbite. I would like to get us guided here in terms of, you see, in PR, there's something we call mudslinging.
Okay.
You understand me? It's happened in the past. People are contesting election. You get arrested on trumped-up charges on a Friday. You get locked up. Election is on Saturday. You get arrested on a Friday. So by the time they release you Sunday or Monday morning, you're supposed to be taken to court on Monday. So by Sunday, but the election is over. Yes. They said nothing against you. Yes. But what the mission was that they don't want you to participate in the election on Saturday. But when people see it, they say, that guy committed murder, he committed this, he was a thief. Do you understand? So, what we're talking about here is that Atiku, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri of Adamawa, he's not a small fish. And he doesn't swim in small pools. A whale, you can't find a whale in the small stream.
You mean that guy is a small swim?
Excuse me, politically speaking, do you understand me? Politically speaking, you know the two big parties that are there today. You understand me? You know the contribution of His Excellency to PDP. Okay. So what we're talking about is that issue, and we know where it was coming from. A lot of big issue about trekking and no trekking. You know, they have to do something to, you understand me, to stamp. It's part of the mudslinging. It's part of politics. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now, let me get back to you, Victor. Now, let us talk about Kwankwaso. Now, yes. Starting with the latest, you know, he's the latest declarant now.
Yes.
What do you make of his presidential ambition?
Yes, just as we always maintain, he has a right to aspire to that office, and he has a clout, okay. So to speak. Looking at his political pedigree, age is still on his side. He's almost 10 years younger than, about 10 years younger than.
He's 61.
Atiku is 71, and a large followership in Kano, which is also a major stronghold of President Buhari of the APC. His track record, brilliant, shows that he's an achiever, a performer. However, because of the kind of hurdle that he faces now, his political stronghold is also being tested now, just as whether it was sponsored by the opposition or not, but a semblance of that happened yesterday, just as he was declaring here, with a lot of crowd, Kwankwaso movement everywhere were there, with red caps.
Yes.
People back home, some supporters back home, of his supporters back home, purportedly defected to the APC. So that's to tell you, that's a pointer to the fact that, yes, you are going out there to challenge Buhari, will make your house uncomfortable, will throw some dust in your domain. It's all a political strategy. So Kwankwaso, give it to him, he will make the mark. But up beyond the north, Kwankwaso's followership wins. Unlike Atiku, who has followership. I think Atiku even has more followership down south. Has that clout, has that camaraderie from a lot of politicians, political associates that he's built over time. Okay. And so he has that going for him. Kwankwaso, that may pale. But We are still watching.
We're still watching.
Yes.
How about you now? What do you make of Kwankwaso's presidential ambition?
Well, I've told you we're in the period of political osmosis. Kwankwaso, Senator Kwankwaso, fantastic human being. You know, he's done well in his homestead. Unfortunately, the man he raised is trying to erase him. You know, he's the present governor of Kano State, the Anuje. Yeah. You know, he was a deputy to him, and now they're not seeing eye to eye. Therefore, what may happen? We also have the Shekarau there, who was former minister, who was former governor of the state too.
Yeah.
So, the 2 million always talked about, the 2 million votes from Kano State will now be divided into 3 places. So, and that's the advantage of any other candidate. Okay. And when you talk about, there are some names you mentioned. I'm from Yoruba land, and you mentioned some names. Some people ask you whether there are some type of whatever. I don't want to mention here. You understand? Because they don't know, actually. So, it's down to number of PVCs. And now that we're talking about level playing ground and direct and indirect primaries, then we know where because to win this election, you understand me, no party wants to joke. If you know you have the chance, if you are a smaller party where you know you won't have effect, you can put anybody as your striker. You don't go to World Cup with your second level.
Okay.
The best. You put the best forward. Really.
Okay, now before we continue, we spoke about his declaration yesterday, his formal declaration yesterday here in Abuja. So we have a clip on that. So let's take a look at Kwankwaso's declaration here in Abuja yesterday.
A sea of red cap in Nigeria politics means one thing. These are members of what is known as the Kwankwasia movement. The mammoth crowd are here to witness the latest entrant into the race for PDP's presidential ticket. The former Kano governor did not mince words in declaring interest in the seat presently occupied by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Our desire to see things change for better is well informed and in a conviction that together we can do why positive change is applauded. Today, I declare that I'm going to vie for the office of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, under the platform of People's Democratic Party.
He also shed light on why the economy and security will be his area of focus.
Serious lack of progress and hope for the future, lack of national cohesion, and poor management of internal political dynamics and widening inequality are very much with us today. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to be critically analytical when and where necessary. We need to have indomitable courage and unwavering commitment to Nigeria and all that is Nigeria. We need to stand firm for what is noble, edifying, and wholesome. We need to fight those ills that have shackled us and held us back in the past. We need to establish shared values and enthrone norms, virtues, and morality that are enduring.
Members of the coalition of united political parties were also on ground to lend support to Kwankwaso.
You people here today determined to proceed with events shows that the struggle to 2019 has victory on the way. On behalf of the CUPP, I want to assure you that the CUPP is united as a political movement. There is no division. The 42 parties are united to ensure that one single presidential candidate leads us to the election.
Kwankwaso is expected to battle for the PDP ticket with no fewer than 10 opposition figures who have shown interest in flying the party's flag in February next year. but he insists that he is the best man to face the incumbent, having come second among a strong field of top politicians at the 2014 APC presidential primaries.
Okay, back to us here in the studio. We've seen the declaration, we've seen how massive it was, we've seen the number of crowd. Now, with you, Alaba, Kwankwaso, they spoke about him backing the euphoria of coming second behind President Buhari at the APC primaries in 2014. And now he insists he's the best man to defeat the incumbent. Your thoughts now, I want to get your thoughts as an Atiku strategist.
Thank you very much. I was at that primaries in Lagos at Teslim Balogun. We all knew that it was arranged. Oh. Yes, we know. We all know. Okay. I was the head of branding and PR for the presidential campaign of current president. My line manager was the SSA Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, who was director of Atiku Media Office there. 14 of us from Atiku Media Office went to prosecute the campaign for APC. But when you discard with your team, what do you get? Your dream gets shattered. And that's what is happening. Caucus what do you call it? The rally. It looks senatorial and ministerial. Okay. It doesn't look presidential.
Why do you say that?
I'll tell you. He paid for Eagle Square without any reason. It was shut out of the place.
Without any reason?
I don't know what reason. Excuse me. He paid. I have access to the receipts. You understand me? What did he do? Do you get my point? Is that the kind of person that will go and face the incumbent in direct election? You think anybody would do that to an Atiku? It's not possible.
Okay, what would Atiku
do? I'm just saying to you. I won't tell you. When we get to that bridge, we cross it. Okay. We're talking about clout. They deny you an access to a place. They did give you an alternative. What have you done? It took an Atiku and others to even protest on his behalf. He's a nice guy. We all work together. You understand me? He's a nice guy. All I'm just saying is that the PDP has a way of sorting itself out. The new PDP has a way of sorting itself out. Now they're having their presidential primaries on the 6th of October, yes, which is a day before. So there's nobody that's going anywhere.
The day before what?
You know, that's the...
okay, define, yes.
You understand me?
That's a good strategy.
Do you understand me? So when you see a team that is thinking, you will know. Okay. The PDP over time, it's good to fail. If you be involved in an accident, you drive better. You understand me? That's what the PDP is doing. Unlike others who think that it's always... When we're doing the campaign, the APC campaign, we thought, no, you cannot defeat an incumbent. You cannot defeat an incumbent. Go to Ghana, go everywhere in the world. Oppositions have won several times over. Because what makes up the opposition are elements from the government and others who are sitting on the fence before coming together. And now you got the joker, the total election that I think the President Buhari had about 15 million votes.
Yes.
And the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, had 13 million.
Yes.
Put together, let's talk about other people, let's say another 3 million. So that comes to what? That would be 30 million votes. Do you know what now? 18 million voters have collected PVC. And it's only one election they're going for. And you know what that election is. So no party wants to joke with that.
Okay.
No party wants to joke with that. Because the economy is bad. People, imagine the first word, Trump of America, Theresa May that came yesterday, Michael will come in today or tomorrow.
Yes.
When he comes, she comes. What's she going to be talking about? Please create jobs for your young ones. We don't want them dying in the sea. We don't want them creating nuisance on our streets. You understand me? So the whole world is saying that Nigeria is the center point, the headquarter of poverty. You understand me? you get what I'm talking about? So even Lagos is more of an entity than Nigeria as you know. So what we're talking about here is that things will sort themselves out, but we're in a talk shop. Okay. So let's do the talking.
Well, Victor, before I get to your question, you seem to have a little issue with what he said earlier.
No, I interjected when he mentioned the fact that he was locked out of Eagle Square without a reason. Okay. That couldn't have been the true position. You and I know that they couldn't. They gave a reason that they don't.
Exhibition is not. It's not compared to the crowd.
The fact is that Theresa May was coming. They don't want opposition having something at Eagle Square. Simple. Okay.
No, you've added a point to it. The visit of such a global leader.
To you, would they shut down? See, I live in England for 27 years. Would they shut down the street because President Buhari is coming? No, I'm only asking you.
No, the reason that got round the media, the reason that got down the media was that they couldn't give it out because it was on a weekday because of crowd. And then we saw the massive crowd that were at Chida Hotel when they went there. But whatever other underlying reason, whatever underlying reason it is, we don't know that.
The fact is that they want to deny him that publicity. That is, no government person is going to go to Jabi. Do you understand my point? That is the bottom line.
Well,
three arms zone is the happening place when it comes to politics.
All right, we'll deal with the facts we already have in the news.
So, but he has done well by doing what he has done, and he has spoken. He said they pull out a couple of things, equipment that they were to use. They put down a lot that next time nobody can stop him from going to Kano to do what he has to do. So he knows his best.
Okay.
But he's a good guy.
Okay, back to you, Victor. Now,
he's a good guy, but not as strong as your man, I think.
Well, when the best comes, the word better becomes a misnomer.
Okay, now let's get back to this. Now, still talking about Kwankwaso now. Yeah. Now, the Kano governor now he has. Do you think he has the clout favorably enough to compete with Atiku?
Yes, of course. He does have.
But you said something earlier about Atiku having more in the south.
Yes, in the south. Yeah. But you will not also give Atiku support in the north like Kwankwaso. Okay. So that's where both you need to look at it. Atiku's support in the north is not as strong as that of Kwankwaso. Despite the fact that Atiku has a wider range of support across board. So just as I've said earlier, Kwankwaso is a good material, but his house is on fire now because of Ganduje, and you see they call them Okada riders who defected yesterday just as he was declaring in Abuja. It was on purpose. It was deliberate. So you expect to see more of cutting down on him as the race gets tighter.
Okay, still back to you now. Let's talk about Tambuwal. What does he have going on for him?
He's a young man. Fortunately, he's also from the northwest. And like Kwankwaso, like Shekarau, all of them from the northwest. And there's this thing, people talking about, there's a principle, another current, which you can call political hegemonic ascendancy. People feel that a certain part of the country has been lording it over others. You understand me? Mm-hmm. And when you check the number of head of states that have ruled Nigeria, the bulk have been from that block. Okay. When you talk about the heads of security of this current government, they are practically from that side of the country. Now, when you have the current president, still has larger influence in the northwest, more than Kwankwaso, more than Shekarau, or any other individual from that side. You understand me? And now, without any this thing, the thinking is that the northeast is where, if anything to happen from the north, should come from. Because since Tafawa Balewa no leader has come from the Northeast. You understand me? So, now, that happens to be where His Excellency Atiku Abubakar comes from. Essentially, Tambuwal, I see, he has a lot of forces to contend with. He has the Shagari people, he has the Wamako people, he has the Bafara people. So, the state does not even belong to him. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So, I would see him as a candidate for the future, except if I were him, I would go for a second term.
As a governor?
And plead with, work with the other guys and try to get the governorship and do a 2-term. His popularity as a speaker was more of an aluta kind of, so now it's good. I know people who have courage. You understand me? And talking about young people, the age, some of the young people who are in politics, they are disappointed people. You know them. Some of them were the youngest governor, this and that. So some of them, they've disappointed people so much that people do not even want to entrust, a bigger cake into their hands.
Yeah, we happen to have, probably we've had the wrong set of young people, but we look forward to having.
Yeah, that's right. You got it there.
I'm just saying. The wrong set of young people currently, yes. But I wouldn't give up.
Yeah, but no. I love it. I would love. I don't see myself as young anymore. I'm 58. So what I'm talking about is a situation where it's not about how old or how young you are. Experience counts.
Yeah, it does.
Capacity counts. Competence counts. Character counts. These things are important. Who creates wealth? Who understands society? Who is globalized and liberalized? You understand me? Who has that political network to secure and unite the people? Who is a bridge builder? These are elements of leadership that people need to look at.
So getting a young person with these elements of leadership, but a less amount of
you got to do that. See, it's like trying to have a child. Because you are Dangote, you cannot have a child today and you go to university today. You can have, it's not possible. There's a process. There's what you call PPP, People, Process, Platform. Okay. So he needs to wait for his time.
This is really not that waiting for his time is really not something encouraging for the youth.
No problem. Let's move on. If you can create jobs like Atiku does, fine. If you can, if you mention,
I'm all for the youths right now, and I would encourage you.
I've driven past Kogi State, where a young man is
we happen to have the wrong,
excuse me,
the wrong set of mindset of young
very close to the government. I'm not saying do anything for me, just do the road. I've seen Edo State doing road, I've seen Ondo State doing road, but Kogi is the worst.
They are looking for money to pay salary.
You don't understand. Excuse me.
No, that's why I made it.
If you are close to the federal government, at least do deals. I served in a place called Iza on the way to Afikpo. That place was 1986 or so. That place was nothing. But a politician decamped from MPP to MPN. Do you know what he did? He told them to step down the national grid just for 15 houses in his community to have light. And they did that.
Well, it's still Inside Story. I'm going on a really quick break. And when we return, Inside Story continues. Don't go anywhere.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search PTV Nigeria, download, it's free, it's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, well, we're at the tail end of the program here on Inside Story. And with me, I still have Alaba Yusuf and Victor Sinabenson. Now, really quickly to round up now, starting off with you, Alaba, what are you envisaging now on the day of the presidential primaries?
Presidential primaries of which party?
The PDP.
Thank you. Before then, irons will have sharpened iron.
Okay.
And forces will have met with forces. Persuasion will have happened. Lobbying will have happened. A lot of situation will happen. You will see people stepping down. I believe so much in that. Because where the word best comes in, the words better and good will become misnomer. And I think the party would like to put forward someone that can create job opportunity, someone that can unite the country, that can secure things, that will be accepted to the world. Because election in our country is not just our own alone, it's the world. And we need to be listening to the air, to the wind. What are they saying in advanced democracies about us? So let us put our minds together and let's start thinking about the necessity of life: food, shelter, security. Jobs. There's jobs. And we're talking jobs, not underemployment. We're talking about mechanized farming. We're talking about adequate, qualitative education, investment in education, in people. So these are the things. We need to look for leaders who can sort out such things. We need leaders who can create, who will be creating wealth on their own, who will be creating jobs on their own, who will be uniting people on their own, not people that have not been tested. That is the bottom line.
Okay, how about you, Victorson? What do you envisage on the day of the PDP presidential primaries?
Let me put it this way. It is easy for me to envisage that it will be like the past, a lot of RNG. I pray that it will not be so. Okay. Let there be transparent primaries, so that at the end of the day, you get the best, the people who the larger, whether they decide for a direct primary or which one are they deciding for? You're in PDP. Are you deciding for direct or indirect primaries?
It's a combination of both.
Okay, combination of both.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever process they decide on, let them follow it to the letter. Not coming out at the last minute with what they call unity list, as they did. If they do that again, to your tent, O Israel.
Okay, we look forward to the PDP presidential primaries come October, and then we look forward to seeing the results and having a single presidential candidate for the elections come 2019. Well, that's the much you can take here on Inside Story this week. I'm going to see you guys again, same time, same station next week. Do have a great week. Goodbye.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Hello there and welcome to Cuisine Africana. I'm your host Lilian Ogazi. Now today I have an amazing chef and a very short, interesting meal. This week again.
Yeah, this week again we have something super amazing.
Okay, last week was amazing and then this week it is super amazing. So what are we preparing this week that is super amazing?
What we have to make today is called Ikira Nicho. Now, Icho is a name for water yam.
Okay.
Then Ikira is the Ikira made from Icho. So
what is Ikira first? This is Ikira made from Icho.
The name given to
sounds like Akara.
Yes, but I don't want to use the word akara because in my language we call it ikira.
So ikiranicho?
Yes, that's to cakes made from water yam.
Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of the Darling Program Banking and You. I'm your regular host, Jerry Ojono.
One of the reasons for the crowd in the banking hall have to do with the bulk of people who use the ATM. One of the banks happened to be one of our very old banks. Okay, they were doing that. They've been doing that for quite a while. You know, the level of education usually cannot compare to education for those with current accounts. Yeah. Okay, so when you have the
Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of the Darling Program Banking and You. I'm your regular host, Jerry Jonathan. With me today. Oh my God!
Election is when we elect our leaders who represent us. And election is my right as a citizen of this country.
Election is a voting process. Election is a voting process, like vote a candidate for a leadership.
It's not like my right to choose the country's leader. My own part to play about it.
Say from layman point of view, is any activity that is aimed at putting people in a position of authority.
It's a platform, an avenue for people to elect those or get into offices, those that they want to represent them.
An election is simple now. It's just people choosing one or two people. The society choosing a number of people to represent, to lead, to coordinate, to do administration. All right.
And now you want my trust once more.
Before you can say, what an election is, there has to be an electorate. Somebody has to, vote, you understand, in an election for people of authority to get into power.
The vote is the power of the electorate. All right, so the people brings their power to the table during an election. That's what it is.
I think it's more like us having a say of who goes there to represent us, of who we talk to, that will guide us aright, and give us the benefit of that. Oh, let me not use the word a past one. Or give us the benefit that what we need is what we're going to get.
Between the electorate and the election itself, the electorate are supposed to willingly vote according to their conscience, according to what they feel that the capabilities of whoever they want to elect into offices can do.
The electorate, they have the power to elect their leaders because this is a democratic setting. And you know what the meaning of democracy is? Democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it is our right as the electorate to elect our leaders.
Only God can judge you now. Only God can judge you now.
Come on, you can't buy my right. It is my right as a citizen, and you can't buy it with money. No amount of money can buy it. So because by the time you sell your right to vote, you're selling your birthright. That's the way I see it.
I think that is laughable. I don't think you need to pay to get my vote, but rather you need to earn my vote. My vote is free. I mean, I don't have to collect anything from you to vote for you. If you tell me what you are going to do, and I am okay, and I believe that voting you, will mean realizing such aims and objectives, then I will cast my vote for you. I don't need to take money to vote for you.
That's a lot of money. My power is all I have got. All right. So if it's like I'm selling myself to you. If you pay me and I give you my power, my vote is my power. So it means you are ready to pay a whole lot of money. It's like I'm selling myself to you as a slave. You have total control over me. So that would be difficult to sell, actually. That will be very, very. In fact, it's difficult to explain. Well, but it's also simple to explain. You know, if I give you my power, I have sold myself to you. So why should I do that? It's my vote during an election is my power, is everything I am.
You know, a matter of money, because it's about my generation now, you know, trying to cause a change. There is no money whatsoever that, you know, one has to pay to get the right leader. The money can finish, but when the money finishes, what happens? What's next? You know, that's what we're looking at.
You can only offer me your conscience and nothing else. The conscience that I have to believe that when you get in there, you represent me well. I don't believe in selling of votes, and I can't do that. So my vote only can appeal to your conscience, and that is exactly what it is. If I find out that you cannot represent me well based on your antecedents, I can't at all vote you in, no matter how much you're giving to me.
I don't need anybody's money to vote. If I want to vote, I'll vote for someone I choose to vote for. Not because of the money.
See, all I wanna say is that they don't really care about us.
That is the bane of the problem, the bane of the issue here. Collecting money and then selling your votes. You're selling a whole generation of yours. Very wrong. So people should vote according to their conscience. No matter how much they're giving you, let them go with their money. Vote according to your conscience. And when the person comes in, he will know definitely that he did not spend any money. He has come to do work for you. And he will definitely do the work. But when he buys your vote, what do you expect him to do? Definitely nothing. If I come to you and I buy votes from you, you don't expect me to do anything for you. So if they should have any expectation on the incoming administration, they should, from this very moment, begin to reorientate themselves, begin to understand that once they say their votes, they don't have any moral justification again to ask for the amenities that these people are supposed to come in to provide for them.
They should know that, I mean, when you sell your vote, you shouldn't hold your leaders accountable for anything. Because at the end of the day, when they buy you, you are electing the wrong leaders. And it will in turn rub off on what will benefit our citizens of this country. Because what we're suffering from in this country is as a result of politicians buying our right to vote them in. That is what we're suffering from. So it should be discouraged. It should be discouraged.
If you look at the lifestyle of people who sells their vote, they are in complete penury, living in squalor. They have no hope. Leadership that continues to gives out money to buy people's vote in an election will continue to exploit the people. They would continue to refuse to do what they should do. They would continue to keep back developmental projects that is supposed to empower the people and continue to use them as piecemeals during election.
The common understanding is that once you sell your vote, it's like you said your future and you said the future of the unborn. Because one, if you sell your vote, the person who bought your vote from you bought it, with a price and his personal money. And he will have to do business to recoup his money. And by the time he's recouping his money, you will be the one to suffer.
Okay, you look at the children, you look at yourself. Are you really in the right place? Is the country in the right position? Can we compete with other countries out there? When you collect the money now and it finishes, what's happened next? So I think with that right frame of mind, people tend to think twice before they collect money, because at the end of the day, the money finishes, but the person is still there for the 4 years.
So you shouldn't allow politicians buy you over. That is what we are suffering from as citizens, because we elect the wrong people. So at the end of the day, they're not accountable to us. By the time they buy you, definitely they will recoup their money. So as a result, you will not enjoy any form of amenities. What they are supposed to do for us, of course they cannot do it for us, because they are like investors. You invest money, you want to recoup it. So you can't hold them responsible for anything.
Why you keep on deceiving the people, my brother, my sister?
When you get politicians that want to come into power by crook or by any means.
One thing is them having doubts, them not having the consciousness of producing results. You know, when you won't produce results, you tend to pay for something. You know, when they pay them off, they feel they can do anything there because you are being bought over, so you don't have authority anymore.
Of course, they are businessmen. That is what they are. Businessmen coming to sell, coming to buy. So when they come to you, tell them that you are not selling. They will definitely come. They don't have any other thing. They don't have nothing whatsoever to offer the country except that money that they have, with which they will come to buy your vote. And when they enter there, they don't do anything for you.
Why don't we work together so the future will be brighter?
Money politics is the worst type of politics you can experience or have anywhere in the world. So our challenge is actually coming to the place of realization, of understanding what you are, what you carry, and who you are. If we can get to that place easily, then all of this would not even come up.
People should begin to, realize that once these people are voted in on the basis of having body of vote, I'm telling you, they will not do anything for you.
As a nation, we should know that those who are buying votes, in the first instance, do not mean well for the country. And if it is possible, the whole country should revolt against them. Once you see anybody, soliciting to buy your vote, that should be enough reason to reject that person or that political party, as the case may be.
If you vote for money, at the end of the day, the person will be doing anyhow in the power, and you have the right to say anything.
The value of my vote is enormous. It's about the change I want in my country. It's about a whole lot of things. The generation at large, we're talking about what we want to see, the change we want to see in our country. Look at the Western country out there. We are not just closed. The education is down, everything is not working, so we need something to work in this country.
My voter's card has power because it is my right. It is my right, and nobody can buy it.
I dedicate this one to all of the shady politicians. Wake up, promise and fail, and they make the people live in harsh conditions. Yeah.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search PTV Nigeria, download, it's free, it's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
As usual, I am excited today. Like AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly.
The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe is the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
That's also the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because we have some states that have experienced, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the embassy.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you can go ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
I'm that made me like this Agbero.
He don't need PVC.
Eh?
He don't need PVC. I was trying to convince him.
News emerged
that Jones Abiri, a Bayelsa-based journalist, is out on bail.
And there's nothing, of course, that makes them to have this guy.
As a citizen, first of all, every citizen has the right. What is happening in the society, what is happening everywhere around him.
From that day, Saraki knew that he was a madman in the APC.
He should ask these people who leaked the information. That is his business.
This is not the first time JSS was taking over the National Assembly.
It may be extremely very difficult to remove a Senate president.
But the question is the viability of most of these 91 political parties.
Of course, you can't prosecute without investigation.
It will be easier for you to have those people with the like minds to join you.
My name is Rotimi Ekomi. I work with INEC. We have, since 2017, registered over 12 million Nigerians. We still have quite a number of uncollected PVCs. We have just about 500,000 collected. We have about 7 million uncollected. So we appeal to Nigerians to please collect their PVCs. We also want to appeal to Nigerians not to engage in vote buying and selling. Not good for our democracy at all. Please express your choice freely. Don't engage in violence, especially to our youth. Don't allow politicians to persuade you to engage in any form of violence. It's not good for this country. Democracy is about choice. You have the right to interrogate the manifestos presented by political parties. When they come, ask them questions. What do they have for you in education? What do they have? What programs do they have under health, infrastructure, all the things that you desire for the country to make this country better? And if they provide the answers and you are convinced, then you can, of course, make your choice. Right now, the choice is vast. We have just registered 23 new political parties. Now we have 91 political parties. So if they all present candidates, fine. But if they don't, those that present candidates, you also have the opportunity to make your choice freely. And I wish you all the best. I wish our country all the best. Thank you for listening.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
Good afternoon and welcome to PTV Today. I am Daniel Mabosa. Start off now with Nigerian politics, where the President Buhari has reaffirmed that he will ensure a free, fair and credible election in 2019. Speaking during an interactive session with Nigerians living in China on Sunday, Buhari said he was not afraid of a free and fair election because the same process brought him to power in 2015. He pledged that Nigerians who are eligible to vote would be allowed to freely elect candidates of their choice. Candidates, Buhari, however, urged those interested in participating in the process to get their PVCs and register in their constituencies and elect anybody of their choice across religious and ethnic lines. The People's Democratic Party has assured party stakeholders that a screening panel will be constituted once it concludes the sale of nomination form. The assurance was given by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Kola Ologbondiyan, in an order to douse tension over the non-existence of a screening panel that will look at the credentials of those vying for various positions under the party ticket. Olawodiya, who spoke at the weekend, said the party has nothing to hide. It added that the party has promised to be transparent and is committed to abiding by the promise, according to a revised timetable released by the party recently. Screening of aspirants will hold on September 22nd, while the screening of governorship aspirants will hold on September 11th. The screening for those vying for the National Assembly is scheduled for September 13, while State House of Assembly aspirants are to be screened on September 7th. Now, the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Cultural Group of Afenifere is prepared to back former Vice President and presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. The group made this position known on Sunday when it hosted Atiku in Lagos. Leader of the group and pro-democratic veteran Chief Ayo Adebanjo explained that Afenifere has taken time to think through all the aspirants and concluded only the former Vice President is genuinely interested in restructuring the country. For his part, Atiku maintained that his commitment to restructuring is absolute and added that it once earned him a query when he was vice president. He recalled that he came to Lagos then to discuss why the country should be restructured, but his comment at the lecture earned him a query from the then president Olusegun Obasanjo. Atiku also vowed that he would restructure Nigeria within 6 months if elected. Former governor of Abia State and chieftain of the APC in the southeast, Orji Kalu, says Igbos are not afraid over the comment made by Bukola Saraki on 2023. Saraki had alleged that APC chieftain Bola Tinubu was supporting the 2019 presidential bid of President Muhammadu Buhari because Tinubu is interested in becoming president come 2023. He said that the statement by Saraki would not deter the resolution by Indigbo to take the presidency of Nigeria after Buhari's 8-year rule. Kalu was confident that when the matter comes up at the right time, it will be resolved. The APC chieftain said he was being careful not to dabble into matters that concern Saraki and Tinubu because both politicians are close to him. Now, the APC has accused the PDP of conceding defeat following the party's adoption of direct primaries, particularly to elect its presidential candidate. A statement from the acting National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Yakini Nabena, questions the interest the opposition party has suddenly taken in its activities. Nabena lamented that the idea of primaries remains alien to the PDP, which is known for its inability to ensure internal party democracy and promote a position against the will of the party stakeholders. The statement stressed that the APC will continue to implement the change agenda which was promised to Nigerians and has called on Nigerians to continue to support President Muhammadu Buhari. The attempt by the People's Democratic Party to politicize the statement of President Muhammadu Buhari on irregular migration and trafficking in persons have been condemned by the APC. The president's statement was made during a visit to the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. It accused the opposition party of being insensitive to a matter that affects the country, especially youths and families that have lost relatives as a result of the inhumane treatment meted out to the people who have attempted to enter Europe illegally. The APC commended President Buhari for showing commitment through the support of internal agreements to curb irregular migration into countries like Libya and Italy using the Mediterranean Sea. It also stressed that the administration is using initiatives like the Empower Bank of Industry, Youth Empowerment, Entrepreneur Support, and the SMEs to reduce poverty and high rates of unemployment. Moving now to Kaduna, where having concluded the voters' registration exercise, the Independent National Electoral Commission says permanent voters' cards could be collected until 1 week to the 2019 elections. Resident Electoral Commissioner in Kaduna State, Abdullahi Kaugama, disclosed this at the end of the registration exercise in the state. Kaugama and 52,507 have collected their permanent voters card, while 269,000 PVCs have not yet been collected. National Voters Issue now, where the 16 months long continuous voters registration has ended with many prospective voters in a final rush to be on the voters register. PTV's Polum David, who visited several registration centers in the FCT, reports that was the situation eventually everywhere.
Hey, young man, go back. I don't ready to go back. Go back. Yes.
Last minute rush at registration centers. This is the situation in most of the places we visited. From Gwarimpa to the vicinity of the presidential villa, FCT residents were in no mood to miss out. We witnessed a rowdy scene at the Gwarimpa Center that attracted soldiers' attention.
The system is so slow, they are not fast. At the end of the day, you see maybe they will attend to 100 number or sometimes not even 100. Then they say they will close. So I could plead that if government could still give chance, they should still at least ask, even if it is 1 month, so that people can have the opportunity to still register, because the process is so slow. They say we should get our PVC. Yes, we are ready to get our PVC, but how is the official working? See this crowd, it's just 3 people working. Then how do they expect them to cover much number? So I plead that the left federal government or the INEC in question should still extend this registration so that people can have it. The election is through voter registration. If you don't have the voter registration, then how do you exercise your franchise? So they should give us time again so that we can register.
When I came day before yesterday and yesterday, someone told me to buy form, that there's place for VIPs. And I told my friend I won't buy any form, I will get form. And believe me, yesterday I wrote my names, I got form. And I registered mine, and I'm done. But we still want more people to be registered, so we want them to extend the date, and to tell those people to stop selling forms is bad.
Since morning I've been here. I came here 6 o'clock. I came here yesterday. I was here. I couldn't get my voters registration. I couldn't get my PVC. I left what I was supposed to do at home. Even my hair was started. Time that I will use for better things. I left my job. I came here up to no avail. I didn't get what the voters card. I didn't get it, and which is very wrong. I want the government to extend this registration, this PVC collection to. They should extend it in order for everybody to get their cards, to exercise their rights and their votes.
This registration has been very hectic. I don't know why it's so difficult. Yesterday we came in here and stood under the rain, yet we have not achieved anything. This continuous voters registration is not supposed to be difficult. We even have them carry the computers. Right now, they are showing us injustice. Some people just came in here with their ID cards and they were given their voters card and they were registered. I don't know why our own case is different. This is cheating.
Saboda wannan tsari me ake wannan tsari a wannan rayuwa a duniya da Allah. Wannan cuta ce ake nuna mana da san kai da wasu abubuwan da bamu gane musu nufin su ba.
And as for complaints, it was no different from what we were told when the exercise began.
Compared to what I took part, like 2011 at Borno State, Miringa, precisely under Bio local government area, I was an ad hoc staff. I remember we did all the registration to the point that everybody, because the center became empty, so we assumed we've gotten everyone who is eligible to vote during that period. But looking at today as the closing dates and the crowd here, I don't even think in the next 5 days you take over, as in you finish up with this crowd. So I think the government really needs to extend it, because then, like I said, 2011 we did it to like 2 months before election. I think some months before, a month and before election. So everybody, and it took them like just 2 weeks to like share out the permanent voters cards. and it was a successful one. So I think leaving it this way, then that means like 40% of Nigerians will not vote if they end it up today, as in 40% of Nigerians will not vote.
There were also comparisons with previous voter registration exercises.
Since morning, it's not even this morning, since yesterday, for how many days that we have been suffering, but we cannot even get this thing. We have been here, you leave your house in the morning to come here, and you cannot even get the form. And they are telling us that today is the last day. I don't think that, please, government should do something about it. I don't think today these people can be, they can be true with this thing, because the queue now is too much. Even those that are having the form, they have not even finished with them. Look at the queue. Talk more of us that we did not even have the form. Please, they should do something about it. We leave your house hungry, everything, transportation, and they are telling us that the voters card is very important. Please, they should do something about it.
And this is the situation within the range of the presidency. The people here admitted waiting till the last day, thinking that the crowd would have reduced.
It has been hectic. I was here yesterday about around 7 a.m. or so. We're here till around 3. The rain started, so we could not continue. I have to go back. So they asked us to come back today. And me, I've been down. I went to hospital. I have to return back. So when I return back today, I discover it's like the population is increasing. So it's just like more people are yet to register, and the machines are not fast. And another problem again is the machines are not many. That is the computer responsible for the registration. Then another challenge again is some people will come behind and just shun. So that one is another contributing factor.
I don't know what is happening that for long people are keeping. Long queues are here, but I thank God I have got it now.
Okay, so why did you wait till this last day?
No, I'll be traveling, so I'm not around. So that's why I have chance today to do it. For long, I think they will expand it for a long time. But I said they are finishing today. That's why I lost to come and do it.
The closest registration unit around me is in Damaraba, and just like I told you before, the process of registering there, you have to wake up very early in the morning because of the queue. You go around 4 a.m. and you write your name. You will not be able to register on time, and I have a lot of things to do. I'm a lawyer by profession, so I have to go about doing my own things. But today being the last day, I knew there's nothing I can do. I must have the voter's card so that me too I'll be able to vote.
PTV News learns that senior INEC officials had earlier in the day gone around some of the centers in the FCT with a view to seeing things for themselves. But the electoral body had made it clear that there is no chance of again extending the exercise that began in April 2017 because it needed time to print permanent voters' cards of new registrants. Paulum David, PTV News, Abuja.
Now, resident doctors in Lagos State University Teaching Hospital are gearing up for a strike that will commence on September 5 should the state governor or government fail to employ house officers. The strike is coming at the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum which expired on August 23rd. Acting president of the association, Ibrahim Ogumbi, has lamented that the failure to employ house officers for the hospital was affecting their work. Ogumbi said failure to implement their work will lead to a total warning strike for 3 days, starting from the morning of 5th of September, which will be followed by an immediate partial strike. Now, Senate President Bukola Saraki has sent his condolences to Delta State government and the Catholic Church in Nigeria over the collapse of St. Paul's Catholic Church in Okwe, local government area. Statement signed by Special Advisor Media and Publicity to Yusuf Olaniyonu. Saraki promised to continue to monitor the situation and ensure affected persons get the necessary medical attention. He called on all religious bodies to come together as one family to provide the needed succor to the affected families. Some youths in the Federal Capital Territory are demanding concerted efforts from the citizenry to check flooding. Speaking in a pre-event briefing ahead of the 2018 Abuja Climate Summit, they believe politicians cannot create goodwill on climate change if people fail to speak up. Emmanuel Bagudu has more.
This terrifying sight of flood has been a phenomenon in many countries of the world. And only recently, a number of states in northern Nigeria have been ravaged by rising flood waters. It has also rendered many persons homeless, with the authorities urging people at riverbanks to go to higher ground in many cases. Not even the Nigerian capital city Abuja is free from recent flooding, which many blame largely on climate change. But these youth from the Global Initiative for Food and Ecosystem Preservation think they have a solution to the natural disasters.
The science is clear. We have the momentum, the technology for energy transition, and we demand bold actions now. We are at a tipping point. What we have seen in the last 20 years of governments leading climate negotiations, even with scientists pressing for urgency, hasn't been nearly enough. With climate impacts escalating, it's becoming at a time when we don't have the luxury of time to wait and see what all the bureaucratic negotiations have to offer. Gentlemen, climate change is the #1 problem the world is facing today, and we in Nigeria are not left out.
Nigeria's roadmap on transition to renewable energy, a panel of discussion on religion, climate change and conflict, panel discussion on the roles, development partners and examples of key interventions.
September is when the United Nations suggests that groups engage in serious actions on the effects of climate change. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
The first Saturday of each month is marked as Environmental Sanitation Day in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, but some residents of the Apo Legislative Quarters see it as a way of enhancing their social life and chart better ways to secure their neighborhood. PTV's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Beautiful landscape and modern buildings complemented by well-planned road network. It also has dedicated inhabitants determined to sustain its serenity. This is Zone E of the Apo Legislative Quarters. These are the residents on a cleanup exercise in the neighborhood, which they say is an exercise that is worth doing considering its impact.
Today's exercise is tagged neighborhood community service cleanup. You know, part of the essence of our association is to ensure that we promote good neighborliness. Because it's said that the closest person to you at each point in time is your neighbor. So as such, we engage in activities that would help in development of our neighborhood, and by extension that will breed and a better and good society at the end of the day.
This respondent believes that the neighborhood has no excuse for not maintaining a high standard of cleanliness. His reason is as a result of the caliber of persons living in these houses.
Well, like the popular saying goes, they say cleanliness is next to godliness. So that's one of my major motivation to participate in anything that has to do with my neighborhood cleanliness. I like it. And coming here today, I've not done this type of physical exercise for a long time. So you can see I'm sweating, and it's a way of, it's like killing two birds with one stone. I'm cleaning the neighborhood and I'm also exercising my body, which is very, very good for me. And I encourage other neighbors to do that.
For now, residents in Zone E of the Apo Legislative Quarters complex have set a benchmark for inhabitants of other highbrow areas in the Nigeria's capital.
Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
Still on environmental matters now, some environmental activists in Edo State are demanding public enlightenment and sensitization on proper disposal of waste materials in the state. They also argue that government must do more to institute laws that would help check offenders. This message was conveyed by the representatives of the African Network on Environment and Economic Justice, ANEG. PTV's Kingsley Eben has more in this report presented from our studios.
Cleanliness, in local parlance, is next to godliness. It is probably for this reason that environmentalists are demanding better enlightenment on waste disposal in local communities. They are also making a case for appropriate laws to put an end to illegal dump sites.
I think the problem is that there is a lack of political will on the part of our people and the part of the government. Let me give an example. I told you a couple of minutes ago that where I stay, if I need to dispose of my waste, if it's a piece of paper, I know exactly where to go to dump that piece of paper. And so I'll take my piece of paper and walk to where there's a bin and dump the piece of paper there, because that's the place I need to dump the piece of paper.
Something that government have to do more in the area of if you say the root cause, indiscriminate dumping of refuse in every use and credits, as a result of ignorance, I can call it ignorance.
Government officials agreed to an extent with the activists. They, however, insist that people should learn to abide by existing environmental laws.
It's our attitude, because even in an environment where there is waste bin, different type of waste bin segregation mechanism, you find that our people still find it hard to dump waste in the appropriate way.
It's all going to do with displacement of value, societal value, core value. We don't have value for our environment. It's so unfortunate. It's all over the country. For those of us who have the opportunity to travel out of the country, you see, the value you place on every aspect of life determines how you respond.
Environment stakeholders agree that policymakers must either introduce or step up sensitization campaigns to achieve proper waste disposal in the state.
That's much we can take on PTV today. Many thanks for watching. I am Daniel Waboso.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
My name is Femi Anikula Kokuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you. Don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections.
Usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had a number, he had numbers of baby mamas.
And he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly.
The worst form of democracy is said to be